Hi, my name's Sarah, and this is a talk for people who seem to have one challenging experience after another. You know, some people seem to have an easy life, don't they? Lots of luck, everything goes smoothly, but for other people it's like one challenging experience, just get over that one, and another one pops up, or they may still be going through the first one and another one pops up. So why is this happening to some people? Well, first of all, know that you are the soul, and as the soul you had certain limiting beliefs and maybe possibly some unforgiveness from other lives that you needed to clear and heal. So before you were born, you chose the best experiences you could in this lifetime, so you could forgive yourself, forgive other people, so that you could heal yourself and clear yourself and rewrite these limiting beliefs. So you chose your parents before you were born. You chose these experiences, you chose your parents, what type of upbringing you would have, you chose where you would live, the colour of your skin, your religion, everything. And as I say, these were to give you the best chance for you to forgive yourself, forgive other people, clear yourself, heal yourself, and wake up. Wake up to know yourself as divine, because that's what you're here for. You're here to ascend and to know yourself as divine, to expand your consciousness and to live a life of joy, ease, abundance, love and peace and fulfillment and fun, etc., etc. Another thing we can do before we are born is volunteer to help clear the collective. Now, we all share what's called a collective consciousness. We are all oneness, we're all God, and we're all one big energy field, really. So as we clear and heal ourselves, we are clearing the collective. We're clearing everybody to a certain extent. What one person experiences, everybody experiences to a certain extent. So there are a lot of people in this lifetime who are experiencing abuse and rape and things like that to heal and clear themselves, so to clear it from the collective. And that was something they volunteered to do before they were born. Now, when you were a child, predominantly before the age of 7, you created most of the beliefs about you and the world around you. And these were based on listening to what your parents said, what your teachers said, older siblings, and also the conclusions that you came to regarding on how you were treated and what you saw or heard, etc. Now, the problem is, before the age of 7, you don't have that life experience, do you? So you often jump to the wrong conclusions. But if people have supportive parents who are positive, it's not usually a problem. But if you have parents who don't have time for you, who criticize you, who aren't supportive, or don't treat you very well, then you often jump to the wrong conclusions, that you must have done something wrong, that you must be bad, that you must be naughty, that you're not enough, that you're not lovable as you are. And these become your beliefs, and these beliefs stay with you then, possibly all through childhood and all through your adulthood too, or until you rewrite them. Now, these beliefs are also tied in with your feelings. So the feelings and emotions, same thing, that come in with that type of belief are feelings such as unworthiness, undeserving, shame, guilt, worthlessness. There's despair and grief about not feeling good enough or not feeling lovable, etc., etc. And if you feel an emotion strongly enough, or feel it often, it can become stuck emotional energy in your energy field or in your physical body. And this will then influence how you feel for the rest of your life, or until you clear that stuck emotional energy. Those types of feelings can also lead to depression later on in life. And depression really is all those feelings, that grief and despair of not feeling loved, the unworthiness, undeserving, etc., all shoved in your heart and heart center, and that's one of the causes of depression. Now, if you're holding a lot of that stuck emotional energy, as I said, that's what you're going to be feeling a lot, and that's what you're going to be giving out. That's the type of energy you are going to be giving out. And there is a spiritual law: what you give out comes back to you. So what happens if you have a lot of that stuck emotional energy? You are going to start to create circumstances, to create experiences, choose experiences that confirm that. So you are going to choose experiences which make you feel not enough, bad, naughty, not lovable, etc., etc. Now, 95% of our choosing, what we're creating, is coming from our subconscious mind. We're doing it unconsciously based on the beliefs in our subconscious mind. That means we are only consciously creating 5% of what we are experiencing. So you can see that if you have those types of beliefs, you're not going to create very nice experiences for yourself, are you? So I had a lot of those types of beliefs from my childhood. I had a hard childhood and had lots of those kinds of beliefs, and a lot of that stuck emotional energy. And then at age 13, I hadn't hit puberty, and I was just horse mad, just into horses. So I wasn't into boys at all. But a boy did ask me out, and he was a brother of a friend of mine, so I was flattered that somebody was actually paying me attention. And so I said yes when he asked me out. And unfortunately, he started to want to have intercourse, and I didn't. As I said, I hadn't hit puberty or anything like that. But then he started threatening me with leaving me, and I got distraught and said yes. And immediately thought I shouldn't have said that. And so I went to see him and said, look, I've changed my mind. I really don't want this. And at which point he raped me. Which then caused a lot of, all the feelings that come with rape. So you get the shame, you often take on your perpetrator's guilt. So there's the shame, the guilt, the feeling dirty, all those types of feelings and experiences you have, feelings and emotions you have with being raped. And I didn't tell anybody. But then things, when you've got that type of energy, you're then going to create more of those type of experiences. So I didn't have a boyfriend then until I was 17, but I was already starting to choose things which weren't for my highest good. I didn't have enough self-love, I didn't have enough self-respect, I didn't approve of myself because of these beliefs and because of what had happened. So we had unprotected intercourse because I thought it wouldn't happen to me, not choosing for my highest good, and ended up getting pregnant and ended up having an abortion, which then added to the shame and the guilt, etc., etc. But I was doing my best. What you need to know is everybody, no matter what they're going through, is doing their best based on their conditioning, based on their patterning, based on their beliefs, their wisdom, etc., and their amount of self-love, amount of forgiveness. I actually was doing the best I could. It's just those types of choices, not choosing for your highest good, self-sabotaging, it's self-abuse, it's self-punishment because you have these beliefs that you're bad or that you've done something wrong. So there's not enough self-love, there's not enough self-respect, there's not enough approval, there's these feelings of shame and guilt and unworthiness, etc. And it's self-perpetuating, and you can become stuck in this rut, stuck in this cycle. Now your mind likes to keep the same patterns because it conserves energy that way. It takes a lot of energy to change a pattern, So your mind likes to keep these patterns. So you can get stuck in these patterns of self-sabotage, self-abuse and self-punishment. So I had a lifetime of lots of challenging experiences and being treated like a doormat, basically, and not allowing myself to feel joy or fun or freedom, because every time I tried to feel happy, it was like this, imagine a big circle around my head, and it would pinch and it was squashing my head. So emotions such as guilt and shame are the worst two emotions to feel, the hardest two emotions, I should say, the hardest two emotions to feel, and they basically keep you prisoner, and they don't like you. They don't let you experience fun and joy and love, emotions such as that. So eventually Spirit came to me and said, look, the only way you're going to free yourself is to know yourself as divine, because when you know yourself as God, you can step back and you can actually say, okay, it was just an experience. You actually really understand, and you actually get with every cell in your body that you chose these experiences. I had chosen the experience of rape and abortion before I actually came into the world. There was nothing I could have done to prevent them. I had a soul contract to go through both of them, and they were going to happen one way or another. So to actually know that you had chosen these experiences before you came, and you chose these experiences to heal yourself, to clear yourself, to clear these limiting beliefs, and to clear the collective, starts to liberate you. Okay, so step one is to freeing yourself is knowing you are divine. You are God in human form. You are the soul inside the body. You're not your body, you're not your mind, you're not your ego, which is your personality self. You are the soul, the divine self in the body. And one way to feel this is to imagine stepping into your head and taking a lift down through your head, down through your throat, down into the center of your chest, and stepping out and just sitting in that energy. That energy, if you can feel it, is love, calmness, peace. And eventually when you can feel it, now it does take practice, then you can feel that energy is outside of you. You can feel that same energy in a tree, in an animal, in another person, and that helps you feel that you are one with everything. And it helps you feel that you are not your personality self, which might be feeling all these other emotions. Another thing you can do is feel yourself much larger than your body, and eventually feel yourself as infinite. That is another great way of knowing feeling your divinity. Step two is try and make your judgments neutral. Okay, so we tend to judge an experience as bad or as good. But if you judge everything as just an experience, yes, it can be challenging, yes, it can be fun, but not good or bad. Label it challenging or fun if you like, but you can try and judge it as neutral. Okay, so it's not so much the experience that causes our problems, it's the judgments we have of the experience, and then how we judge ourselves after the experience. Number three, so know that you came into this life with a lot of these experiences in place, and you were going to go through them whether you like it or not. And know that you quite possibly volunteered to go through these experiences to clear the collective. So really, doesn't that make you a heroine or a hero? Forget the guilt and the shame. You're a hero and a heroine. Okay, the next one is know that you've always done your best based on your wisdom, based on your conditioning, based on your patterning, your beliefs and your circumstances at the time. Now, I have never stolen anything, and I always, I would never steal anything. But I went through a time of a couple of months where I had no money, and I was living off 2 bits of pita bread like that a day, and I was really hungry. And you know, after 2 months, I was starting to come to the conclusion, well, if this doesn't start to change soon, I could see that I would steal because I was so hungry. So this ties in with our next step, is don't judge anybody else either, because everyone is always doing their best based on their conditioning and patterning and beliefs and circumstances. Okay, so if you're desperate, or if you're suffering, you do want to try and stop that suffering, and you know you don't want to leave the world, so you will do things to try and stay alive. So you know, don't give yourself a hard time if you end up doing something because you're desperate, and don't judge other people either. So bring in some new beliefs. The next step is bringing some new beliefs. Bring in beliefs. I am enough. I am lovable. I am significant. I do count. I do matter. I am valued. I am wanted. I'm perfect as I am. I'm divinely perfect. I am worthy. I am deserving. I am safe. So choose beliefs that resonate with you. Then for at least a month, try and say them as often as you can. Write them down. Stick them on pieces of paper and read them. You can set them as screensavers. You can set them as reminders on your phone. You can set them on your phone to record overnight. You can set them on your phone, record them on your phone in a monotone and gentle voice, and then set them playing on a really low volume overnight. And that way they're just going into your subconscious mind that way too. But it takes at least 21 days, and then you've got to carry on with them. So the next step is clear the stuck emotional energy from your body. As I say, it's going to be influencing you when it's stuck in there. So if you feel an emotion, don't try and hide from it. Don't judge it. Don't try and push it away. Try and feel that emotion. What is that emotion of? What is it trying to tell you? What triggered it off? And then you can try and work out what belief you have to what triggered off the emotion. And then you can say you were feeling angry, you can say, this feeling of anger, I feel it, I honor it, and I let it go with love. It's not me and it's not mine. Angels, please take it away. And then the angels are going to help you start to clear that stuck emotional energy. Another thing you can do before you go to bed, before you go to sleep, is just ask the angels to clear any stuck emotional energy from your body, to help you clear it while you're asleep. And you might feel it, you might feel a bit of warmth or tingling, and sometimes you can feel your arms or legs give a little jerk, and that's just like you're in a dream and you're walking down the steps and you miss a step and your leg jerks. It's the same kind of, it's exactly the same as that. That is actually stuck emotional energy leaving your body. So you might feel that. Another way, I was given a technique by God to use, and you just say, dear God, regarding this feeling of, let's say we're going to feel anger, dear God, regarding this feeling of anger, there is nothing that exists in the now apart from true love. Therefore, all other feelings are an illusion. They come from another time, place, space, dimension, or universe, and I send them back with love. Then you take a deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth, and just imagine that feeling going on a pink ribbon of light. Another thing you can do is some inner child work. Now, your inner child is you, stuck at a certain age, and I feel that your inner child is really your body. So I said, you're not your body, you're the divine consciousness in the body. Now, your body is very intelligent and has its own awareness. Your body can hear the beliefs playing over and over again as mind tapes, and the body feels a lot of fear because you as a divine being can't be heard. You just leave the body and go on to heaven or enter another body, but the body actually dies. So the body actually feels the fear, and the body feels these emotions of shame and guilt, and the body believes everything it hears and sees as true. So what you tell your body, it believes you, and so your body has these feelings that it's not good enough, etc., etc. So inner child, in my opinion, it is the voice of the body. So imagine yourself sitting on your lap aged about 7, And you are going to tell that 7-year-old sitting on your lap, they are enough, that you love them so much, that they're safe, that they're lovable as they are, that they do matter, they do count, they are so worthy and deserving of love, they are so worthy and deserving of attention, that you love looking after them. You're going to try and send them love, you're going to try and send them, you're trying to imagine yourself giving them cuddles. Anything to try and reassure that inner child that they are safe and they are wanted. And when your inner child feels happy, that's how you feel too. If they're feeling sad, that's what you feel. If they're feeling scared, that's what you feel. So if you can make them feel happy and joyful and safe, that's what you're going to feel too. So you need to practice, next step is practice self-love, self-respect, approval of yourself, and forgiveness. Self-forgiveness is so important, as is forgiving other people. Now, the best thing to do is, I've done a talk on forgiveness, is to actually listen to that talk, because then you get a whole talk on forgiveness. But just to know, it's really important. You need to send forgiveness and love to your body. Now, you can wrap yourself arms around your body, I love you so much. Another way you can do is by doing the technique we talked before. Step into a lift or whirlpool in your head, take that lift or whirlpool down to the center of your chest, and from that area you're going to send love and forgiveness all over your body. And the forgiveness is also, it's going to help to transmute, let go of that feeling of the shame and the guilt. Another way you can do it is by imagining and feeling love and forgiveness around you, and then you breathe it in and you send it to all parts of your body. Now, shame, and both shame and guilt are the lowest vibrational emotions you can feel, and they basically keep you prisoner. So it's really important to try and free yourselves of these emotions. So guilt is obviously, depending on what you've done, you might not be able to tell people, or you might be able to tell people. But knowing that everything is for your experience, for your healing and growth, etc. But shame festers in secrecy, and shame needs to be told. So if there's something you're feeling ashamed about, and shame is the feeling that you are bad, that you are not enough, that you are naughty, whereas guilt is the feeling that you have done something naughty. Okay, so if you have shame, the best thing you can do is find some friends that you trust, that won't judge you, that won't tell anybody, and tell your story to them. Because once you start telling your story and they start saying, wow, that's really, it's been blown out of proportion, because what tends to happen is when we think about it over and over again, it tends to blow it out of proportion. So if they can talk to you in a non-judgmental way, help you feel better, and so you can take a step back and be an observer of it, a non-judgmental observer, then shame starts to lose its hold on you. What we often do, we don't like telling people, because we have this fear of rejection. We are wired up for connection, so often we have a fear of rejection. So it can take a lot of courage to step up and tell people. So choose the right friends to tell. Give yourself small treats often, and tell yourself, I deserve, over and over again. Okay, so when you have the shame and the guilt and those types of beliefs, it's a lot of feeling of not deserving to have a nice life, not deserving of having ease, not deserving of having love, peace, abundance, etc. So give yourself small treats. Don't have to be expensive, it's the intention that counts, and tell yourself that you deserve. You can make a mantra. Mantra is something you repeat over and over again. Everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. Your mantra could be, one thing God told me, that only love, forgiveness and peace are real. So make that a mantra. Only love, peace, forgiveness are real. Only love, peace, forgiveness are real. Is real. Now, as I said at the beginning, we have things that we have chosen before we came into this life with, and these are called soul contracts. These are contracts that your soul has agreed to go through. You as a soul have agreed to go through. But when you have learned the lessons and you know yourself as divine and you understand, you can choose to upgrade your soul contracts so you don't have to keep going through these same experiences. So sit down, sit quietly and just say, dear God, I pray for an upgrade of my soul contracts, and maybe ask, once a fortnight, once a month, something like that, for your soul contracts to be upgraded. Imagine that your best friend had gone through your experiences. What advice would you give to them? You can see it from much more of a non-judgmental way if you're imagining it's happened to somebody else. So take a step back, be an observer of your own life, see what your thoughts are, your thought patterns, and then you can work out your beliefs. And give the advice that you would give to your friend, give that advice to you. And, don't keep, we tend to get stuck in these patterns, and we can tend to keep beating ourselves up and berating ourselves. But actually, when you know yourself as divine, know yourself, you're just going through those patterns, you're just going through those experiences, and it's because it's what you're creating because of your beliefs. Then you can stop beating yourself up, stop berating yourself. And lastly, just know that God loves you unconditionally. God does not judge you. Spirit does not judge you. They love you unconditionally. There are no sins. There's no hell. There's no damnation. That was all created by the church to control people. Okay, so God loves you unconditionally. And as I said, God told me there is only love, there is only forgiveness, and there is only peace. But what is stopping us is our beliefs, and our thought patterns and our feelings are stopping us feeling that and stop us having that in our life. Okay, so I have also done a talk on the illusion of guilt and shame. So if that's something that you feel would resonate with you, I suggest that you watch that one too. Okay, I hope you find that helpful, and much love and many blessings from my heart to yours.